Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gridiron Gurus. My name is Luke, and joining with me, as always, is
Ryan Green.
Today, this is it, before the draft.
Yes.
Draft is in 51 hours, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing, as you can see, I have it pulled up on the screen, mock draft, 2 rounds. Make sure I chose 2 rounds.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Good.
We'll be doing some trades. Not going to go ballistic with it. We'll have to discuss and approve the trades, even if it's between the team, 2 teams that we have. So I'll be doing odds. Ryan will be doing evens. We might switch it at
33.
33. Because what the text is draft 58.
I have 57.
So we'll switch it.
We'll
switch it. Or we can just keep going.
Yeah.
I can draft with y'all.
Yeah.
So
I'll do you right.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that, and then we'll have some trades if some players fall. This is kind of a mix of what we think will happen and what we would do. So there'll be some picks that I'm like, I wouldn't do this, but it's probably going to happen on draft night. Circling a certain team.
Yes.
Pick.
Well, really, just there's a couple teams that I'm just like, I don't know what you want from me to give you.
Yeah.
Either you have a lot of needs and whatever pick somebody's gonna be upset, or 2,
I'm just gonna go ahead and do this real fast. We don't need to talk about this. It's a done deal. Cam Ward to the Titans.
And then also, did you say where Adam Schefter posted in the morning that this morning that Travis Hunter has already been told he's going to be going to the Cleveland Browns?
I believe that was.
I believe that one. Yeah. Now, like I said, I think
he's minus 4,000 odds or something.
Yeah, I think the top 2 are pretty much really the draft starts at pick 3.
That's right.
Because
unless something crazy where the Browns get a call, some team really wants to move up for maybe Shedeur or Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Hint. But Cam Ward's been locked in for a couple months now. I think Travis Hunter's also probably been locked in the last couple weeks. I mean, I'm not huge on Cam Ward being he's not like a traditional number 1 overall pick quarterback, but he is the best quarterback pretty easily in this draft. Titans, you can't run back with Will Levis. Maybe if you had actually done something in free agency, this could be a different conversation, but you kind of pigeonhole yourself into Cam Ward. Travis Hunter, best player in the draft. Versatile. He's going to fill 2 needs there. He'll fill 1 need and then kind of fill half of the other.
Okay, question. How do you feel about him? Obviously,
if he's going to play both sides, he has to play corner full time, because you can't play wide receiver and then just come play some corner snaps. It just doesn't work in the NFL. You're not going to be able to be like, you know what? This week I'm just going to come in and I'm going to guard T. Higgins. It's okay. No.
The only thing I could probably see is for instance, if you could play wide receiver, start a wide receiver, and then on cornerback come in for in case they come in play nickel or they go into dime, stuff like that. It's only just certain kind of formations. But I love him at corner. Honestly, we talked about it before too with the Browns of Martin Emerson being the way that he is, and then also with Greg Newsome probably going to be on his way out too. That it would be a good transition, especially for him to kind of first year in the league. His stamina is as good as anybody that we've ever seen because of how he's been able to play. He's been able to play both positions, but
the Browns also just need
like I said, they just need somebody that can at least give them some kind of hope. So.
They also could take the player I'm about to say for the Giants, Abdul Carter.
Okay.
I think that this is the definitive top. I think these are the best 2 players pretty clearly in this draft. And I know the Giants don't have I know they have Kayvon Thibodeau, and I know that they have Brian Burns. But I don't really love Kayvon Thibodeau. And honestly, at this point, just get the best player available. You're not taking Ashton Jeanty here. I don't think Ted McMillan is the 4th best player in this draft or 3rd best. I just don't really love anybody else. I think that there's such a gap between Abdul Carter and the 3rd best player in this draft. I mean, I know Ashton Jeanty's up there as a player, but he's a running back. That I kind of just have to take Abdul Carter here.
I think the other thing too is Kayvon Thibodeau still hasn't been picked up his 5th year. So technically, if the Giants decide to take Abdul Carter, they can move on from Kayvon Thibodeau
maybe
potentially.
Get a day 3,
like a 4 or 5 5th round pick. Like I said, you're not going to get much, but if you're hoping to be able to fix a mistake, because you're not able to fix a mistake you have with Evan Neal, at least you can get a really good player in Abdul Carter.
That's a good front.
That's a really good front.
Yeah. Now you're up with the Patriots at 4.
Yeah, so Patriots here is another one that I don't know if exactly this is going to be chalk. There's been a lot of talk as of late with Genty. I don't understand that one because the fact that I like obviously running back is still technically a need, but like you have Ramondre Stevenson, you can stay with him because I think he's still a good back, and instead focusing on who's going to be blocking for Ramondre Stevenson. So right now it's going to be between 2 tackles, and obviously I like Will Campbell as my number 1 guy, but there's also been some talk about potentially Armand Mimbu. And like he has like he shouldn't go top 5, but like there's been a lot of talk about him potentially going top 5. But in this case,
he's a little more raw than people want.
Yeah, I think people are looking at like a lot of projection, and I'm like I try not to do as much because I think that's where you start to get kind of like in a very tricky situation. So in this case, I'm going to take Will Campbell because not only do I believe he can be a tackle. And if not, then he's going to be an absolutely amazing guard. You need to fix, like I said, you need to fix your offensive line. That's something that Mike Vrabel is going to love to do. I think it's kind of guy that Mike Vrabel is going to fall in love with too, because like I said, he's a really good football player, really good at mindset as well. And he was working with Duke Merriweather like over the offseason as far as like fixing some of the stuff that like in his technique. And like Duke is one of the best. Yeah. So like I feel pretty confident Will Campbell is going to do good in the NFL.
I think Will Campbell's perfect for. They just need to get help, and I think he's the best like offensive player kind of available. It's not Ashton Genty. The Jags here, I think this is perfect. Mason Graham. I mean, they need an interior. They need some more interior presence there on the defensive line. I don't love the corners in the top here, like picking them in the top 5. Ted McMillan could be an option. Again, he's not a top 10 player in this draft. I know that they have him here on the PFF mock draft simulator, but he's not. He's more a middle. I've kind of soured a little bit on Ted McMillan, and we can get to that when we actually draft him. But I think Mason Graham here is I'm just going to exclude Ashton Genty until we actually pick him. I think he's the best player on the board here. I know he's kind of fallen out a little bit because he's got short arms, but he's going to be awesome inside with those edge rushers.
Yeah, and like I said, like we don't really know how the Jaguars are going to go, mainly because of the fact of like it's a new GM. He's a young guy, so like came from the Rams, and they have their own way of doing things.
They drafted a lot of defensive tackles or defensive linemen,
and that's why like I feel pretty confident.
Braden Fisk last year, who's kind of the same build.
Yeah. And like I said, you already have Josh Allen, you already have Trayvon Walker. Like I said, you got your bookend ends. If you're able to get more pressure in the interior, that may be like your secondary that has been a little weakness outside Tyson Campbell is going to have a little bit more help because they get interior pressure. So I love the Mason Graham pick. And also I think there was actually like a picture. I mean, it doesn't really say anything, but like 3 weeks ago of him in a Jaguar shirt working out. But now I'm here at the Raiders, and like the obvious pick is Ashton Genty, but I've kind of been in between
I don't think they'll do it.
A couple of picks. And like I said, I don't know if they'll do it either. But like that cornerback room is absolutely abhorrent. And I love Will Campbell. Do I put him at 6? I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing that he's not the best available corner
here. I know, but I'm also thinking about like what I'm thinking of the connections. Obviously, Tom Brady and also Spytek come from Michigan. They would know everything they need to know about Will Johnson. I love Jahdae Barron. Sorry, as well, especially like his versatility. Like I said, I'm going in between both of them, and I think because do you or do I get to? I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick the Raiders. Yeah, no.
I have the Raiders.
I have the Raiders because they're 37.
We're not switching.
Oh no, we're not switching. Okay.
So I'll have them second round.
You'll have them second round. So I'm going to give you the option of taking any kind of running back because I'm going to take a corner. I'm going to take Jahdae Barron.
I'm glad you didn't take Ashton. I think he's a stud, but the Raiders can't afford to take a running back here.
No.
I think Jahdae Barron's better than Will Campbell. Not Will Campbell. Will Johnson. Less injury history. I think he's better ball production, and he tackles better.
And also, like you said, he has more versatility as far as being like, somebody that, you had to with Devon Witherspoon at Seattle. You're hoping that you're able to get really like help out that cornerback room because as bad as their run game is, absolutely. If you look at their cornerback room, it is literally like just nothing, nobody. So
the Jets here, I think this is going to happen on draft night. I think it's going to be Tyler Warren.
Okay.
I mean, they need a tight end kind of badly. They need more pass catchers. And I think he's going to help them run the ball better. He's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, I don't know what their offense is honestly going to look like with Justin Fields, but I imagine it's going to be more run first. And this is a guy who can help you do both and also catch some short passes, be good after the catch. You could take Ted McMillan here, but I'm just going to take Tyler Warren and honestly probably take a wide receiver on round 2.
Let's see, and that's the reason why, like, for me, like I said, I still like the pick for him fitting that role for Tyler Warren because, like I said, you have a lot of people coming going from the Lions. What they have done with Sam Laporta, hoping you can kind of have that same kind of role for Tyler Warren, and you need help for Garrett Wilson, but that right tackle position. Also,
I could take Armand Bambu, but I think Tyler.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm in between both of those as well, and I'm fine with having Tyler Warren. At pick 8 for the Panthers, it's been pretty much chalk, and I don't like. Over the last couple of years, I have been right about who the Panthers are going to select. Ever since Christian McCaffrey, I've been right about every single first-round pick. Some of it is just because the Panthers just straight up tell you exactly who they're going to be picking, and they have been saying for the last couple of weeks it's going to be Jalen Walker, and I tend to believe them. Would I love it for it to be Donovan Ezeraku? Absolutely. He's my draft crush, and I want him so much. I would love it for being Malachi Starks as well, but is it going to be? No, because I'm going to be disappointed. But I've started to fall in love with Jalen Walker because he fits the Frankie Louvu role that we desperately needed last year, and we desperately need somebody that can be able to rush the passer. So is he an edge for me? No, I think he's more of
you got to play them both. If you want the best Jalen Walker, you got to play both.
Like I say, I think he's more of an off-ball linebacker that's going to be blitzing, and like I said, in that kind of like interesting role, especially because we've beefed up that interior. So I know the whole thing of like, if Mason Grimm somehow falls to us. No, I don't think we're going to take him, even though I would love him. We invested a lot in our interior. That I think that Jalen Walker with his speed, his pursuit's absolutely crazy as well. I think that'll be a good fit for us.
Saints here, there's been so much buzz about it. I kind of have to believe it. It's going to probably be Shedeur if he's here. I think Shedeur is going to be the pick with the Saints.
You know what though? As a Panthers fan, I would love that for the Saints.
I would love
you to take Shedeur.
But I think it's going to be Shedeur because there's been so much crap with Derek Carr the last month or so. There's like reportedly he's like faking an injury, and
I will say this. I'll say this.
Also, Derek Carr's not the future of this team, and you get a new head coach. Maybe he wants to get a quarterback. Maybe they really like Shedeur. I wouldn't pick Shedeur here. Yeah. I think if Shedeur's here at 9, the Saints will take it.
The reason why I also wouldn't want them to take Shedeur is one. Okay, do you feel like even with taking Shedeur that you're going to be better next year? No, you're probably going to win about the same amount of games, 5. You have so many more needs on the team, and you're in a pretty bad cap situation. So, by taking a rookie quarterback contract now, you're not really helping yourself out as far as like what it can do for you dividends.
Yeah, but if you think he's gonna be good,
if he's gonna be good, but like I said, I just don't really believe in Shedeur, unfortunately, unless he goes to the perfect situation, and he's not going to go to the perfect situation here at New Orleans. But
this is the easiest pick ever.
In this case, this is the easiest pick. They're going to take Ashton Jeanty. I know, like there is like some speculation that like if Jeanty goes at 6, there's potential for them to take Hampton, which I absolutely love Hampton. Also had the North Carolina connection between Ben Johnson and him, but in this case, Jeanty starts to fall. And honestly, I could see in a scenario that the Bears even try to jump the Saints just to make sure they get Jeanty, because if he falls past the Raiders, which more than likely could happen, the Bears would be dumb enough not to try to make sure they get their guy.
Here at 11 with the 49ers, there is really 3 ways that I'm looking at right now. There's 3 players. There's Walter Nolan, there's Armand Membu, and there's Mike Green.
Okay, I like that.
I'm going to go with Armand Membu, because they really just need offensive line. I think he can play guard. I think he can play tackle. The right side of their offensive line has been has been pretty bad for the last few years. You'll still look for a Trent Williams successor because he's not going to play left tackle, but you can shore up that right tackle spot, and at worst, you can slide him in a guard.
I thought they technically have McKivitz. I mean, he's not that very good, but
very good. Yeah. So, but either way, I'm just going to take who I think is the best of the three players right now in Armand Membou. I could see Mike Green if they really want to get a guy across from Nick Bosa, but who are you going to take here to the Cowboys now?
The Cowboys, I can go a couple different directions. I do like your Membou pick. I will say for the 49ers, if they don't take a defensive tackle in the first two picks, I don't know what you're doing because you look at that defensive tackle room and it's absolutely important.
Yeah.
But in this case, like I said, if Membou falls, I would be really, really happy for the 49ers.
This kind of screws over the Cowboys a little bit.
It definitely does, but from what I've heard, and I've been a very big, I actually kind of like Kelvin Banks here, but I'm like, no, they're not going to go Kelvin Banks because they really like Terrence Steele for some odd reason. They paid him a lot of money, so they're not going to move on from him. So even though I would love for them to try to go either guard or tackle here, they have to really go wide receiver because outside of CeeDee Lamb, it has been really, really bad for them. So if I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb as being able to move around for the Cowboys, like I said, you got him a lot of playing times playing in the slot, moving around. I'm looking at for somebody who's going to be able to win outside. And in that case, I'm looking at Ted McMillan. Now, is Ted McMillan my number one? No. Is he my number two? No. He's my number three. Technically, really, he's my number four because technically Travis Hunter is number one. But I've really fallen out of favor with Ted McMillan, just kind of like, from what he was last year coming into this year, I was like, oh, no, he's going to continue to be as good as he was. And then we really dive into the tape. It's just not as good as it was last year. Doesn't have the hustle that you kind of were hoping for. And just takes forever. Like if I want X, I don't see him as being more of an X, being more of a Z. So if you're able to have him and also CeeDee Lamb, I think it takes a lot of pressure off of him. It's given something that they don't have. And I think that would be a good situation for him to be in because, like I said, he wouldn't have to be the number one guy.
So now I've got the Dolphins up. I'm going to take Will Johnson.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going to go on with Jalen Ramsey. He's not obviously going to be there long term, and they just need defensive help. I thought about Walter Nolan. That was kind of the other guy that I was really looking at there, just because I know they're not going to take offensive line.
What do you think about Malachi Starks as they launch him on Holland?
I do, but honestly, if you ask me, I think Will Johnson's better than Malachi Starks.
Okay.
I think corner's more valuable. I think that you're going to be able to get a player closer to Malachi Starks' level in day two than you would Will Johnson.
Okay, I think especially if you're able to find a Xavier Watts, I think that's a good. I think that's fair. Colts here, obviously for many weeks, been many moons. It's been Tyler Warren, but in this scenario, he doesn't fall to them at 14. And I agree.
That's right.
And I agree. I don't think he is. And honestly, I'm very glad that he isn't because if I'm the Colts, you have a lot of needs on defense instead of on offense. We've already talked about it before about the fact of all the wide receivers that they have.
Yeah,
I think you could possibly get a tight end in round 2, even in round 3, and still be okay. We have a reliable option, not superstar, but still a reliable option. Instead of okay, we're going to take a top 14 pick and potentially someone who could change our defense, like for instance, looking at Malachi Starks, looking at Jahad Campbell, potentially. I don't really think that Donovan Ezraku is something that they're looking for, but that would also work too. Like I said, I love Donovan Ezraku. But if I'm the Colts, I really, really do not like their safeties, and I'm going to go with Malachi Starks. I think that there's a shot that they go with Jahad Campbell. Like I said, their linebacker play was absolutely abhorrent, but usually the Colts are able to find good linebackers later on. And unfortunately, like a lot of those good linebackers have moved on to different teams. So I think that probably in the third round, they'll probably get a linebacker. And I think there's some good linebackers going to be in that third round the Colts can pick up. So
I hate to do this to you, Ryan.
No, I honestly,
I hate to do this.
Honestly, like both him and Mike Green are probably going to go to either the Falcons or the Buccaneers, and I'm going to hate it on draft. I'm going to like.
Well, we would watch it. We would watch it live. We would watch you crash out.
Dude, I just
he's Ezra right here. I think is the best edge rusher available. He fits their scheme, and they just need some juice at edge rusher. And like he's got the most sack production out of any of these edge rushers. I like him. I think he's really good.
Oh yeah,
I think he's really good. I know you think he's really good.
Dude, he's
a really good player. Him or Mike Green was kind of the two options there.
I'm gonna be real. I even though, like I said, I absolutely love Donovan Ezra-Rocky, I do think the Falcons would go Mike Green, mainly because of the fact that one,
I don't know what the Falcons are plugged in.
Yeah, so. Both the GM and also head coach were at his pro day, held about to take him out to dinner, and also they're looking for more of a power rusher.
Okay,
but like I said, either way, it's going to be a good.
I think Ezra is going to has a lot more juice.
Yes, like his oh my gosh, his hips are so good. Like he has he's a nasty spin move.
Would you say his hips don't lie?
Hips lie because they tricked the offensive tackle. I butchered that joke so hard, but still, oh my gosh, I'm literally going to be upset. But if you can't tell already.
This is a mock draft, isn't it?
I know. All right, so here we are.
I think there's pick staring you in the face.
Dude, it's pretty simple. I mean, like, okay, look, the Cardinals, they have a lot of needs, but generally think they're going to be a good team. And I've thought about it, like, they could possibly go offensive line here, but in this scenario, I think there's a chance that Walter Nolan does fall. I like him potentially going to the 49ers, but if he starts to fall, there is no way he's making it past the Cardinals because one. He's going to be in a good group with him. Like you already picked Walter Nolan. He's going to be in a good group with Calais Campbell and Snacks Thomason. Like I said, you have two veteran presence in there to help him along. And he's able to be like an immediate starter because, like I said, you're still going to have Snacks coming off, especially like on pass rushing down. So him again, Calais Campbell being those two dudes.
Walter Nolan's a stud.
He's an absolute stud. And like I said, he still has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
But putting him in a situation where, like, okay, he's not the absolute guy. He can actually, like, learn from a lot of these veterans. That would be perfect for him. Even though I would love him to go to the 49ers, but, like, this would be a better spot for him.
Okay. Wait, do you hear that? I think the phone's ringing.
The phone's ringing.
I think the phone's ringing.
Wait, you don't think that the Bengals would take Mike Green?
No, I think they need someone more inside.
Okay.
If Walter Nolan was sitting here, 100%.
Okay.
The reason is like that Walter Nolan came off the board, and so did like Starks.
Starks for the Bengals, I would love as well.
So like I think they need more more guys inside than Mike Green. I'm only I'm calling from the Texans.
Okay.
So you're moving back 8 spots.
I will say this. If the Falcons are in a situation where, like, Donovan Ezra-Rocky isn't there, I could also see them trading back with y'all as well because they don't have a 3rd or a 5th round selection.
So I'll give you 25, 79, and
so moving up 8 spots.
So we have the trusted trade chart that tracks because you have 950 versus 720. So there's a 230 difference.
Yeah.
Pick 79 has a value of 195. So we need to make about 40.
Well, 35. Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
And giving up 236. Let's see what the value. No, that's
not even.
I'll give up.
Give me
4th next year.
See what's why not just give me that 166?
Okay.
It's
give me 166, you got to give me 193.
Okay. Let's see. 193 would be.
I'll throw in 236.
Okay. I think that's beneficial because not only do I get another pick in the the 5th round? Yeah, I'm gonna get another pick in the 5th round.
You move up 30 spots in the 4th, 5th. You move up 30 spots in the 5th round, or from the 6th round to the 5th round,
and then I get an additional.
And you get an additional, yes.
I think that's a fair trade,
and it gives you an extra top 80 pick.
Yeah, I think that's a fair trade. Make sure you hit the 17 though.
Yeah. All of that.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, just for
offer trade.
Yeah. You can't. You don't have the.
What? Can I not trade?
You have to pay.
I have it. I thought I had it.
You do not have it logged in?
I shouldn't. I've done trades on this before.
Yeah, but like I said, are you not logged in to your?
I am logged in.
Does it say?
Yeah. I should. I've done trades on this before.
Well, that's what it makes it seem.
I guess we're not doing trades.
Well, no, we can still do a trade. We can still hold on. We can still do a trade. We can still do a trade. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna write it down. Do you have
why don't we do just another?
Well, I mean, we could do that, but like we've already gotten deeper into this.
Yeah, just pull it. No, I'll just do all the picks real fast.
Okay. All right. We could, because I was like, we could like write down okay, what we changed.
So it was Cam
Ward, Travis, Abdul, Mason Graham. Well, not Mason,
Will Campbell,
Mason Graham. Then you have all the way down there, Jedi Barron. Then you had Tyler Warren. Then you had obviously J.L. Walker right there at 12. Trader, Ash Agenti. You got Mimbu. Then I had Ted McMillan. Then you had Will Johnson.
Okay.
Then you had where are we at? Malachi Starks. 20 right there. Then you unfortunately gave the. I think I'm pretty sure
Where's John?
They're very low on him. Yeah, they're at 33, which
and we have
Walter Nolan.
Let's see.
Except they're weird. 26. And then there we go. Okay, so there we go. All right, we're back.
So
we're back.
Switch this. Present. Share screen. We'll do this one.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
We're back.
All right, we're back.
So our proposed trade was the Bengals and the Texans for 17,
139,
193, 25, 79, 66. Propose, confirm. What?
You might have to do it. Yeah.
Texans.
Next.
Bengals next. 25, 79.
166.
17, 193. Propose, confirm. Okay.
Do you want?
I'm just gonna force this through like this. Okay. You'll see.
Bengals.
So the Texans. I'm offering this to the Bengals. I guess is the thing. Okay. So we'll give you 25 in next year's first.
Okay.
And I'll just put in 79 for that.
Okay. There we go. Okay. All right.
So the Texans, I'm here. It's easy. Calvin Banks.
Yeah.
It took way too long to get to this.
hey, but it's all going to be worth it. You get Calvin Banks.
Calvin Banks is apparently they're really high on him. From like everything the beats are saying, everything that's coming out, they really like Calvin Banks, and I understand it. I think he can play tackle. I think it would be good to let him play guard, which is what he would have to do if he was after using him. He'd play guard for a year and then kick out the tackle. But he fits the prototype of the Texas like draft. Highly recruited guy, multi-year starter, captain
from Texas.
Yeah, they just love guys like that, and that's him to a T. Mm-hmm. Calvin Banks would fit really good on Houston, and I think that he honestly is. I know Josh Simmons is there, probably the best available offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm trading up is because there's been so much stuff from Houston media that's like, if Calvin Banks starts to slip at all, they're going to try to move up. And I fully believe that because Caserio is very aggressive on draft night.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I think legitimately, especially if it's like a 15 and somehow Donovan Ezraku's not there.
And they really liked Will Anderson and they traded up a lot to get him. So I think that I don't think
plus legitimately, if you give up your third and so you still keep your second.
You still have another third.
Still have another third as well. So like I said, I think you're still fine there.
So you're partly trading part of Laremy Tunsil for Calvin Banks here. So
yeah, yeah. So now I'm here at 18.
And the reason I want them to jump the Seahawks just so that they could, just in case the Seahawks maybe took.
Because I will say this, the Seahawks, from what I'm hearing, also like Calvin Banks. So like that's the reason why like I do like that. Like either 15. I don't know if the Cardinals would move back, but I mean, heck, they technically moved back.
They have a working relationship.
Yes. Okay. So now here with the Seahawks, the chalk pick is Gray Zabel, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the move because one, John is an interesting dude. I'll put it that way. It's never like, he never goes with what everybody else is thinking. So I'm not going to go with Gray Zabel. Instead, I'm looking at, okay, well, what are other spots I can potentially fit? Okay, tackle, crap, don't have Calvin Banks. All right, wide receiver, I think we're okay enough, even though I would love them to take Matthew Golden. For some odd reason, I've seen a lot of edge push, and like I think that they're fine, but I've still seen a lot of like potential going to edge. So I really don't know. I'm really confused at where I'm going to put the Seahawks. Honestly, and the one that's kind of staring me in the face is because I know that they've talked a lot about it, but it's way too high for me. That's Nick Imawari. Like, they've talked a lot about him. Like, they want him.
I make a pick.
And I'm going to say Nick. I'll just go Nick Imawari. Like, honestly, like, I hope that it's not right there. Because I've seen so much about they've been to his pro day, they had top 30 meeting, they met him at the combine. Like I said, they showed a lot of interest in him, even though everybody's saying they're going to go Gray Zabel. They never do. They never pick who you think they're going to pick. So go Nick Imawari.
Seahawks, I have a much easier pick. Mike Green.
Well, Buccaneers.
Not
yeah.
Seahawks. Oh my God, that again. Buccaneers, Mike Green. They need Judge help.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been one of Ezeraku or Mike Green here. So you got your nightmare scenario.
No, literally.
Scenario.
No, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen.
At least the Saints got Shador.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes me happy because, last year, obviously the Falcons ended up taking a quarterback, and we're like, "What the heck is going on?" But legitimately, I just know it's probably going to be flipped. Like I said, Mike Green might go to the Falcons, and then you have Donovan Ezeraku making it to the Buccaneers. Like I said, I've already accepted it. I love both these guys. I'm just it's gonna hurt me when it happens. But now we're to the Broncos, and this is probably the easiest pick I could possibly make. See where are you at?
Right there at the bottom.
There we go, Amari and Hampton. They're going to take running back more like with their first pick. Obviously, like I said, there's some chances if the Raiders take Genty and the Bears take Hampton, then they could go somebody like people talk about Trayvon Henderson. I am okay on Trayvon Henderson. I'm not a first round pick on him, but Amari and Hampton, I definitely am. Like he's very close to me as far as with him and Genty. And he would be amazing in this Broncos scheme. That's legitimately you have a really good offensive line. You need somebody that's actually going to take advantage of that and help out Bo Nix. So Amari and Hampton is an absolute perfect pick for them.
For the Steelers right here, I'm not going to take Jackson Dart. I can't do it. I know they have legitimately a huge need at quarterback. Why. I'm going to take Derek Harmon.
I love that pick for him.
Because oh my gosh, what's his name? Defense tackle they currently have.
It depends on which one. Are you talking about Cameron Hayward?
Hayward's getting a little long in the tooth, so you can draft a guy in Derek Harmon, learn under him for a year or so, and then kind of take that role over.
Plus, also their other defensive end as in the same exact role as Louder Milk. You need another guy. So
you're up here with the Chargers,
and it's legitimately one of the. Okay, actually, no, it's not really an easy pick.
I think it's kind of easy.
Colston Loveland's probably my pick, but I love Matthew Golden.
You take Colston Loveland.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna let you choose which Packer might actually which wide receiver the Packers might take, and let's go Colston Loveland.
You think the Packers gonna take a wide receiver?
Hey, it's their draft.
Shamar Stewart.
No,
walk on down.
No. Oh my goodness. Okay, look. If Dom Desiraku starts falling down, I think the Packers could potentially take him there. But how wonderful would it be for the draft to finally be in Green Bay? All the fans are there. You haven't drafted a wide receiver since 2002, and you desperately need a wide receiver one. And there's a guy that's staring you right in the face. Who are you going to pick?
Shemar Stewart. It's going to be Shemar Stewart. You know that.
I'm just saying, don't reach on Shemar.
I took Matthew Golden.
Okay, good.
They should take Matthew Golden.
They should. Or Emeka Egbuka. I love both of them.
But Ibuka's a little bit more inside. But I like Matthew Golden a lot. They could finally get some legit, top end talent at wide receiver here. It's not going to happen in the real draft. I'm calling it now. Shemar Stewart, you will be a Green Bay Packer. But now you're up with the Vikings at 24, and I think this is a pretty easy pick.
It kind of is. At the same time, I think the Vikings are one of the teams that's going to trade back.
That's true.
Because
who's calling right now?
All right, so if I'm calling, the Bengals
Bengals
are 25.
Bengals are 25.
Yeah.
But also somebody could be looking to jump up to Josh Simmons.
That's what I was going to ask you, because this is something that I'd love to see, and it's probably going to happen. The Chiefs seem to need a little bit of an offensive line help, and it just so happens that Josh Simmons. I know they did, but also, did you know that Jawaan Taylor's contract ends after this year? Did you know that Jawaan Taylor technically could also be cut as well? And even though you get a little bit of a cap hit,
I'm fine with the Chiefs moving up.
I think the Chiefs and the Vikings, like I said, the Vikings still be able to stay in the first round. I know there's some people who are potentially saying that, the Vikings could be a potential where people start trade up from the second round if they just quarterback they'd like that falls down. But I don't know why you would try to trade up in the first round to get this quarterback, because they're not worth it. But the Vikings are all the way over there. But if I'm the Chiefs and Josh Simmons starts to fall down, obviously there's a little bit of character concerns. But you look on this right here, you got 24, 97, 139, and 187. You did a lot of stuff in free agency, but you need to fill out that roster. And if I'm you, I'm trying to trade.
I'm only jumping 7 spots.
Yes, but you still have the Chiefs that have 2/3. They have a late second as well.
Okay, you're the Vikings. I'm the Chiefs.
Yes. So what are you?
My offer to you is 31.
Okay.
95. The third.
Okay. That's
133.
All right, so you're giving me 95 and 133.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that would give me a third, but a late third at that. And it would give me another 4th rounder.
There's only 140 in between here.
Yeah.
Pick 95 alone is 120.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 133 is 39.
I think that's because it's a third and a
You're
fourth,
not getting a second.
I don't think you're going to get a second because of moving back. But you get more draft capital, and I think this is fair for the Chiefs, because then they could probably trade out.
This?
I'm good with this because the Chiefs could possibly trade out.
I love this.
Yeah, the Chiefs could probably trade out of
Chiefs,
either their late second or early third to accrue more picks and able to get their guy. So why? Yeah, no. The pro football.
That's not actually the trade. We just
no. We already said no additional first round.
Taking Josh Simmons.
Taking Josh Simmons. Yeah.
Okay, so now I got the Bengals here.
Mm-hmm.
25. Where is he at?
Which one are you talking about?
Kenneth Grant.
I like that pick. Honestly, him going to the Bills,
he's an option there at 17.
Yeah.
Trading back, getting an extra 3rd round pick, 4th or 5th round pick, and still getting Kenneth Grant is who I probably would have taken at 17 anyway. It's a good process, because then you can still add some more guys there on day 2 and 3. So.
Especially on your defense that desperately needs a lot of reworking.
Now you're up.
And honestly, Kenneth Grant can kind of fit that DJ reader that you don't have anymore. All right, so the Rams here are interesting, mainly because
I love John Campbell. They're not going to take it.
I know, and that's the reason why I was just oh, they didn't know, but no, they're not going to. They're not going to take edge rusher because they've invested a lot in it already. I don't think they're going to take another number 26 pick for more of a rotational piece. So I'm looking, and I'm like, if Colson Loveland somehow bypassed the Chargers, this would be a pick here. But now I'm looking, and I'm like, do they go? Oh, we can get the future of the franchise. No, don't fall for that, Rams. I don't think you will, but don't do that. I'm looking at corner, and I've already talked about this before. Well, actually, no. There's the one person that I did not think was going to fall to them. That's Benjamin Morrison. If his medical is fine, him and Savon Revel, I absolutely love both of them. But like I said, as long as their medicals check out. But in my opinion, they need another shutdown corner. Benjamin Morrison can be that guy. More of a man guy, like I said. But I would absolutely love Benjamin Morrison, even though they have a lot lower than I would at pick 26. And I did think I did it last time too, is just taking a corner because like their cornerback room is really, really bad. But a lot of people are like, oh, they can take a quarterback for the future because they can like have him sit for 2 years. And I'm like, but there's nobody worth it. Like maybe if they fall in love with Jalen Milroe, technically they had meetings with them, but like this is the Rams. They don't do anything.
Stetson Bennett?
He's just he always delivers.
Young quarterback of the
future. Young quarterback for the future.
Now the Ravens. I'm sprinting this card in. Tyler Booker.
Yeah.
They need a guard. They want guards that are going to maul people because they're a run first offense. Tyler Booker likes to hit people.
Yes, and plus also the fact of
they like drafting Alabama players too.
And also right now it's like Falele, who's basically going to be your right guard right now. I don't know if you feel super confident with him. So if I'm in this scenario,
and you're building a good young interior offensive line for Lamar for the future,
because you got him, Tyler. Now you got Tyler Booker, you got Tyler Linderbaum, and we'll see kind of what happens as far as like on the left guard spot.
Who was the right tackle from Washington?
Rosengarten.
Yeah, and he played solid last year.
He played solid, yeah. So like, I think this could be perfect.
I thought he was going to be a guard.
I did too. Like, but also like I think I technically had him like.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, no. But now here at the Lions, and I think this is one of my favorite picks because coming into last season, this guy was like more than likely going to be a top 5 pick, and then he goes into a new spot, and it doesn't really work out for him because he beefs up a little bit, but he slimmed down,
and the scheme was not helpful.
And the scheme is not helpful. But if Nick Scorton starts to fall a little bit, like it would be crazy for the Lions not try to go for him because, like, legitimately, if you have a defensive line of Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil, and Nick Scorton get back to where he was, who he's still 20 years old. I don't think that people like legitimately still has so much more to learn, and he's good as he is.
Yeah,
that would be crazy for the Lions for the years and years to come because Aiden Hutchinson's still young. Scorton's definitely young. And so you have the next, bookend ends for the next 10 years or so. Like I said, that would be the best possible thing for the Lions. So just get an edge rusher.
At 29 here for Washington, who do I take between Shemar Stewart or Michael Williams?
Okay, so in my opinion, I think Michael has a higher upside. Shemar,
I'm leaning towards Michael.
Yeah, because like Shemar, I just feel like somebody's going to take him that definitely shouldn't. Because like to me, he's the kind of guy that people will reach on because it's like that thing you always hear about, or you might experience your own life, personal life, don't know, but that feeling of like I can fix him. Not like he comes into my coaching like he's got everything that that could possibly want. I can just kind of like retool a couple things, but oftentimes that's not the case, and I think that's going to be happening with Shemar Stewart. Especially for him, he's going to have to be like either in a rotation or maybe he can be that Robin. But like in the case of trying to go to the Washington Commanders, he would have to be the guy. And I don't think that he can be that. So that's the reason why I would love Michael Williams going there because one, he's more malleable. He was playing through injury last year as well. And I think he has a lot more potential. But
30 at the Bills.
Yes. So obviously, if Kenneth Grant was somehow there, I would love that for them. I'm looking at potentially either edge rusher or like a potential defensive tackle because you got what's his face, Daquan Jones, who's like 33. He's a little bit older. But if I'm looking here, and I've got Khalil Shakur. I've got Coleman. Do I go Emeka Egbuka? I would really love that wide receiver room like Emeka Egbuka, but I think because you already have I just said his name. Shakir, which I love Shakir. I don't think you go to Emeka Egbuka. I don't think you take a chance with James Pierce Jr., which honestly I would love that for them. I'm in between two players, and I'm gonna let you kind of steer me in a direction. Do you think Tyleik Williams could be a first round pick, especially at pick 30?
Maybe.
Or a guy that I have fallen in love with, that not a lot of people have fallen in love with, and obviously this draft simulator does not fall in love with. But that is going to be Josiah Stewart.
No, he's not going.
I just love him, man.
He's not going first round.
I know, but I really love him though. But like I said, I don't know if they're definitely not going offensive line. I don't think there's like a wide receiver that gives you something different besides maybe Jaden Higgins. But at the same time, you already have that Kirk Coleman.
You took Jahai Campbell.
But they usually take their linebackers later. They're kind of same as the way with the Colts. They'll just take somebody later on and they'll just develop him to be the best possible player that you could possibly have. I just don't.
Tyleik Williams.
I think Tyleik Williams is probably my pick. I could go corner maybe, but I think that they'll probably go corner in the second round. So,
all right. So. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
somebody that I like, but I'm wondering who.
I'm gonna make a trade.
You're gonna trade that again
with the Titans.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because this is a spot where I can see the Titans trying to go back up, try to get a wide receiver.
So you be the Titans. I'm the Vikings. Give me your trade.
Okay, so I'm the Titans. You're the Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, so Titans going to Vikings. All right, so now I'm moving up. Into the first round. Okay.
You're up 4 spots at the end of the first round. I'm doing this so I can get a 5th-year option on this and make sure that I get this player.
Exactly. So I'm looking here. Obviously, I have a lot more later on picks.
There's
there's no thirds. There's because
it's like a 50 thing difference.
Because like I said, there's no thirds because of the fact that I gave that up for L'Jarius Sneed. 4th round, I've got 2. So I got 103 and I got 120. So you said there's how much a difference?
About 50.
About 50? Okay. I will be fine giving up 103, even though I could technically give up 120. But I feel like I
would ask for 103, and that's it.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that's perfectly fine getting 103 because you get top of the 4th. Because in the case
the very top of
the 4th, because in the case of the Minnesota Vikings, with these new picks they've just been able to acquire, I'm okay with that. It just doesn't want it. It's fine. But in the case of the potential Vikings getting the pick 103, you could trade back up in the 3rd round if there's someone that you like because you've accrued more picks because you traded with the Chiefs, and now you traded with.
My gosh, dude.
Yeah, this one it's just not.
We'll have the
Titans right there
here.
Vikings,
and we'll give you this in a second next year.
And 103. There we go. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
And I will sprint the card in for
on defense. So, yeah.
Where is it? Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, Emeka Egbuka or Luther Burden. But I like both of them as far as being. And also, honestly, the Titans are, from what I've heard, really, really liking Luther Burden.
Yeah, but I would like Emeka Egbuka more.
Yeah, in this scenario of having him paired with Calvin Ridley.
And you get that 5th-year option on Emeka Egbuka here, too. Now you're up here with the Eagles.
Yeah. Honestly, honestly, it doesn't really matter where they go. But there's somebody that I like that needs a little bit more development. They have an all-pro player at the position right now, but they don't really have a plan in the future. Yeah, I'm going to take Josh Connolly Jr. because, like I said, if you need be, he could move in technically to guard, but he has a lot of potential that if I'm there at the Eagles and I'm looking at, okay, well, we drafted the replacement for Jason Kelce his previous year. That has worked out for us. because he's been able to learn behind him. I'm looking either in the first or the second round for a replacement, and that could be Josh Conley Jr. So
I like that pick. I think he's, especially getting an extra year of contract control.
Yeah.
So the Browns here took Travis Hunter in the first round. I'm not taking Jackson Dart.
No, and I'm not taking Jalen Milroe either.
Mm-mm. Dude, I don't like this spot.
There is somebody that I like.
I like Gray Zabel.
I was looking a little bit further down.
Travion Henderson.
No, I was thinking.
Where's your thing? Who are you trying to take?
Okay, all right. So if I'm them, I like Gray Zabel, but I'm also looking at the fact. Okay, so obviously they need running back, but they could possibly take one in the third round. I don't think that's like that's like the biggest need for them. But I'm also looking at potentially. See there? Yeah, they were easy these
Darius
days.
Alexander.
Darius Alexander.
I'm fine with that.
I like him. He's a riser, and you're able to get some. He's able to pair with Miles Garrett, having both of them on the same exact side. I think that'd be kind of dangerous because I think Darius Alexander has a lot of potential. You could go edge rusher there, like I said, you could have possibly have taken James Pierce Jr., but like I just think he's going to be falling a lot because just there's a lot of this coming out about him that is just not there. And honestly, this works out perfectly for me because the Giants need so much over their offensive line, and Gray Zabel is right there. So that's a perfect pick.
Getting Abdul Carter and Gray Zabel would be a home run.
Honestly, that could be lifesavers for both. Like I said,
get good players.
Like I said, it does not like. I don't care that you might have like Shedeur Sanders. Don't take Shedeur Sanders. Don't even try to trade back up to get to Shedeur Sanders. Get the best player available, and hopefully you can save your job.
Yeah. 35. I'm going to take Siobhan Rivel.
That's like honestly like if he
didn't have the ACL tear, he would be a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
He's an uber talented. You have big needs in the secondary,
mm-hmm.
and like trading back here, you picked up an extra fourth round pick or third round.
Well, fourth round pick,
fourth variant of the third. And no corners went. So,
no. And honestly, that's who they would have taken at 31 to begin with. So
I would have probably taken it there.
Like I said, I looked over that too. Okay. So at the Jaguars, you took Mason Graham.
Stewart, dude.
No. This is a player that I have loved. And both him and Donovan Ezeraku started off in that second round, but then steadily they've been creeping. Donovan Ezeraku so much more. But there's a wide receiver that I love. And obviously, if you like Luther Burden a little bit better, I'm going with Jaden Higgins. If I can get Jaden Higgins paired with Brian Thomas Jr., you have Jaden Higgins being that kind of role of what Mike Evans was. You have Brian Thomas Jr. being more of what a Chris Godwin role. That worked wonders for Liam Cohen when he's at the Buccaneers. I think that works perfectly fine. Like honestly, like that would be probably your best bet. Is like, okay, I can still get a really good
receiver on Iowa State.
You like Jalen Noel a little better than him?
I like Jalen. His speed's legit, man.
I just love Jaden Higgins as far as like just being a big, like really crisp route runner and just absolute dog.
Good job. He's gonna be a really good contested catch.
I know.
The Raiders
with good quarterback play,
Raiders first round took Jahdae Barron, which means I'm taking Luther Burden third here. Because I think he's the best wide receiver available right here.
Mm-hmm.
You need wide receiver help. Just kind of get good players there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that kind of sucked for me because I was kind of hoping I can get Luther Burden. I was like,
Jalen Noel's there.
I'm not taking him that high. I don't have. I like him, but not 38. So instead, here's what I'm looking at. Okay, all right. Well, we've already got offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
We already got that. We're at a wide receiver, possibly, but maybe you feel pretty good about Jalen Royals. I think that'll be a little bit too high, but I definitely like Jalen Royals. I'm looking at if I can get a good edge rusher to complement where we have nothing. We've got Keon White, who's fine, and then you got Harold Landry, that's overpaid and not very good. So I'm looking at edge rusher. And if I'm so go to edge rusher because I want to make sure that I'm not. That's right. Okay. All right. If I'm an edge rusher, not edge rusher? If I'm the Patriots, I think that I would be willing to take a player who's falling down, who has potential, and I think that in the past, Mike Vrabel has been able to handle some of these kind of characters and be able to rein them in because he's a good players coach.
Can I make a call?
What is your call?
From the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, so 38 down to 50.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what you're willing to give me because I'm kind of feeling James Pierce Jr. Okay.
So if I was the Seahawks, you were the
Patriots, right? They're about the Eagles. There we go. You just passed them. There we go.
All I have to throw that in just to make it work. 50, 38.
Okay, so
I would say
that's 120. And you do have 2/3.
What is 92?
92 gives you 130.
Would you do it for this straight up?
I would go 82. Give me the higher pick.
You'd have to get that's 10 spots higher. If you give me 106.
Nah, because 106 is the top of the fourth round. I can't do that. All right. We'll do 92. We'll do 92 straight up. Okay. Because of the fact that
and this is how much difference is this big?
Well, that's 132 plus your
what's the difference between?
I say 38's 120, I believe. What 120? Yeah, 120. So like I said, it's about on yeah.
So this is good with you?
Pick up additional third. Yeah, I like that.
I know this is your team. Your team was the Seahawks that you picked, but I'm taking Donovan Jackson.
Yeah.
I didn't want to risk him getting taken by one of these teams here. And you didn't take a guard in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this is technically your pick taking him there, but I've been sitting there thinking about it, like there's a trade here.
Yeah, no.
Especially with Luther Burden getting taken, just get accrue some more capital if you're the Patriots.
Yeah, because like I said, like I was really kind of reaching because like I think James Pierce Jr. is going to go to the top of the second round because he has a lot of talent. But like
the Bears take first round.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the Bears. I have a. Oh no, it's your
me. Who do you
39? Okay, I'm looking at two potential players, one at 39 and one at 41. And honestly, if this is the Bears draft, this is the best Bears draft they've ever had in their whole entire life. Taking Ashley Genty and then possibly getting either Omar Norman Lott and then also Xavier Watts.
I'm taking Xavier Watts in the
Okay.
first pick because I don't think you'll take him here with the Saints.
No, but I would have taken. That's to say, I would take. Well, no, actually, I wouldn't because I got my safeties down pat. All right, now I'm here with the Saints, and that's right, we took. Well, this is probably gonna be Shamar Stewart, which would suck. It would suck for him. Hey, it sucks for you, just Shamar Stewart. You're going to the Saints. But like I said, you have. That's the reason why I kind of feel like they're going to go edge rusher first round. But like, you have the Saints. They have a new regime. Well, technically not really a new regime. It's still the same as like a GM that's been there since like 2002. Like, I don't know how Mick Loomis still has his job. But you got new defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, who is going to be looking at his front seven being dominant because that's what he's been able to like actually do a decent job at. And even though if there's somehow that Jahdae Barron goes to this falls to things, that would suck for me too. But they need cornerback help because their cornerback room is absolutely cheeks. But I feel like they're probably going to take somebody in the third or fourth round.
I'm going to take Omar Norman Lott. They need some juice in the interior pass rush. He's besides he might even be the best just pure pass rushing defensive tackle in this draft. He's not going to be a 3-down player. He's not going to play the run really at all.
And he doesn't have to.
That's the thing but you get him there. You get some juice on the interior. You get your safety, and you get your bell cow running back. You just hit 3 starters with your 3 picks if you're the Bears, and you had a great free agency. You could look like a team that could contend for the NFC North next year.
Could you possibly say they might be the winners of the offseason?
Like for the last 3 years.
Last 3 years, yeah. But this one is actually warranted. All right.
And they've gotten good things the last couple years.
That's true.
Now you have the Jets who took Tyler Warren in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's another thing, too, if they take it. Oh, wait. Hold on a second.
Take Mason Taylor.
Oh, no. It's going to be suck for you, but I'm not going to take him. But
take Alfred Collins.
I don't want to.
Be a good pick.
Okay. Let me see who else is on the board. So there's some people like we haven't talked about. Jai Campbell's up there, but we're not going to take anybody like that. Oh, no, actually tackle. Offensive. I got to take offensive tackle actually now. Oh, yep. Okay. I actually know they actually like him too. So in this scenario, Ionte Ursary, like I said, I personally like if he could fall to the Panthers at the second round because I know that we're looking at tackle because there's a possibility that we might move on from Taylor Moton after this year, which I hope we don't because I love him, but that's how the business goes. But in this scenario where they don't take Armand Membu at right tackle, you take Ursary, who absolutely just great feet for as big as he is, like absolutely massive human being. And you get a weapon on offense, you get your bookend tackles for the next 4 years for sure. I think you're perfectly fine with that as a Jets fan. Like I said, I really like Ursary as well.
I'm gonna have to screw myself over here.
Mm-hmm.
Take Alfred Collins.
Yeah, their defense tackle is absolutely.
Their defense tackle is terrible. You got Armand Membu in the first round. Build up these trenches, which is what made the 49ers good when they were making their Super Bowl runs. They had really good trenches.
You got Robert Sala back.
Yeah, so like you get yourself a just big run-stopping guy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You can push the bucket a little bit, and you get your bookend right tackle. It's a good draft if you're the 49ers.
Okay.
Them boys took...
we took Ted McMillan.
All
right, so this one...
No. Can I take him?
Yes, you can. You can go ahead and take him. Yeah, this is, yeah. No, especially now. Like I said, normally Jai Campbell's not there. So I would say who I normally pick. I normally pick Landon Jackson because I feel like, okay, you need somebody to be Arkansas, baby. You got to have Jerry Jones get his guy. But in a real term, he would be like the replacement for DeMarcus Lawrence in that sense. Because I don't know if they really feel like Marshall Kneeling will be that guy. Yeah. I don't think he should be. But also, like I said, that would just be a perfect fit for them. But in the case of Jai Campbell being there, that would be great for the Cowboys because they desperately need a linebacker.
I've got the Colts here. I'm going to take a guy that we don't ever talk about, Mason Taylor.
I have him.
I like him a lot. I think
I put him at my tight end 3.
He's easily tight end 3.
Yeah, no, but a lot of people don't put him in there though.
He's really good. He's just going to be a very, very solid player. They need a tight end. I think Mason Taylor at 45, like you missed out on Tyler Warren in the first round, but you got Malachi Starks, Tyler Warren, just two good,
Mason
solid.
Taylor.
Yeah, Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
Good, solid football players. Mm-hmm. You can be happy with that if you're a Colts fan.
Honestly, like that would be like.
And then, the Falcons got your guy.
Yeah.
You got Arion, not. Sorry.
Yeah, well, he is one of my guys.
Donovan
Izaraku, yeah. All right, here, I feel like it's kind of obvious what they're going to be taking. They're going to take a cornerback. And honestly, if we're here and they end up taking Trey Amos, which I'm fine with, I'm not super duper high on, but as far as being a number 2 option that you're able to pair him with, leaves my train of thought.
Cornerback. I know you're talking about.
Clemson. Wow.
Gosh.
I feel pretty terrible that I can't think of his name right now. He's really good. He had a not the best year last year, but anyways, taking Trey Amos. I know Trey Amos is also one of those players that potentially could be the Cardinals could be taking, and honestly, I feel kind of bad, like I said, giving the Falcons him. But why am I literally?
Why can't I?
Yeah, why is I know his name?
I wanted him to be in the Deshaun Watson trade. AJ Terrell.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, taking Trey Amos. I think it's going to be a good pairing for them. Like I said, you already got your edge rusher, unfortunately. And I think that you're still hoping that Ruka Roro can basically be the replacement for Grady Jarrett. He came along strong in the second half of the season. So I was also thinking of maybe you go like interior, but I think that you're still fine there. And just hoping that these people can take the next step. I think your linebacker is kind of interesting as far as I don't know how I feel about Devon Diablo, but I like, some of the other players that you have. But that secondary, especially looking at that strong safety, I hate that you have Jordan Fuller, but who knows, maybe he might be able to bounce back. So,
okay.
I said Trey Amos would be a good pick there for them, but I think there's another person you could possibly take.
Might take Landon Jackson here.
Really? Why?
They need trench players.
Well, yeah, but they already invested in Darius Robinson. They already got your other defense tackle.
Oh,
you got Josh Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
Yeah.
There's
another play that I'm looking at.
Who are you looking at?
Go to wide receiver.
Jalen Noel. I thought about it. I was thinking about
it. Like I said, because you were talking about how
I like Jalen Noel a lot,
and I'm saying like that gives them the speed that they don't have.
Yeah, they need that,
and that's why I'm like that would be really, really well for them. That would work out really well for them. Because I like Greg Dortch, like former Panther, but like
legend.
Yeah, you could get Jalen Noel. So, okay, so now we're here the Dolphins, and obviously, first round I believe we got
Trayvon Henderson. Walk on down.
Yeah, we got Will Johnson, and just like last year, we both believe they should have taken offensive line in the first round. This year, I'm okay if you don't, especially because how was happening to Jalen Ramsey. But if you don't take offensive line, I'm be really ticked off with you. So in this case, I'm looking at either Jonas Savaiinaea or Wyatt Milum. But I'm taking Jonas Savaiinaea because one, really great footwork. I think he works really well in also his zone scheme as well. And if you want to bring more beef to especially to your offensive line, you get Jonah. But even I would still like that Wyatt Milum pick too for them. But like I'm gonna go with Jonah in this scenario.
I got the Bengals to Kenneth Grant, I believe, and they traded back, picked up an extra third.
I think there's an easy pick right here. No, on offense.
Oh, that's also confusing. Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at somebody that they do not care about character concerns.
You're right.
Jace Pierce. Yeah, if
he can be the replacement to Trey Hendrickson because he's kind of a pure pass rusher.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like that frees you up.
Sucks for the Patriots.
Oh yeah, no, it sucks for the Patriots. And that's why I just realized that I talked about like, I'm going to take Jace Pierce Jr. and now I'm not going to. All right. Well,
I think Tuigamala could be a player.
I do think
that's like a hard nose run guy.
Braden Smith is also a good option too. I mean, I'm also a big fan of Josiah Stewart. Wait, hold on a second. Go back to defense. Go back to the edge rusher. Do they have David Walker ahead of Josiah Stewart? I love David Walker, but heck to the no, is he better than Josiah Stewart? That's disrespectful.
You think Josiah Stewart?
I would love him.
You can take him.
Yeah, I would take Josiah. Okay, I love Josiah Stewart. I love Josiah Stewart. And honestly, he's a little bit small, but if you want a pure pass rusher, and if you look at Michigan's tape, obviously you're going to see Kenneth Grant. Obviously, you're going to see Mason Graham. But Josiah Stewart, number 0, is also on every single play, and he beats people. And yes, he is 6'1". I don't care. He's a little bit smaller. I don't care. He has really good moves. He has really good speed, and he's got really good power for as small as he is. So great leverage kind of guy that's going to be coming on third down and basically just like can get you those 6, 7, even 8 sacks every single season. So
Broncos here, they're a pretty complete team. They need depth. I'm going to take Maxwell Hairston.
Okay.
Or Hairston. Because I think that they could use another corner next to Pat Surtain because
Riley
Moss looked pretty bad down the stretch of last year coming off that injury.
True.
Also, getting a ball hawk next to the shutdown corner could work really well.
Especially because like he would have to be the guy.
And this way also would give you some more depth in the secondary, strengthen up your defense. Because I could look at wide receiver here. I don't love the wide receivers here.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not going
to they have Chris Adams-Drain, but like that would give him a 4 pretty solid depth. So I do like that. All right, so now we already took
and I think Maxwell Hairston is versatile.
Yeah. So we took Donovan Jackson and then we also took Nick Imaware. So got my offensive line. However, I want to see if it fits perfectly. Wyatt Milum, let's freaking go.
Well, they took Donovan Jackson. Remember they traded up?
Yeah. Do you know who their other guard is?
Oh yeah,
No. I legitimately see like within their first 3 or at least 4 picks, they're gonna take both guards because they need to fix that situation like pretty badly. And also Wyatt Milum and really honestly, I didn't even realize that Donovan Jackson and also Wyatt Milum have the versatility to play both guard and tackle. So if they gets injured again, you can potentially move him outside. Donovan Jackson definitely a guard, but worked okay at tackle, and then White Mom is a tackle who's moving inside a guard. So I'd be like, hey, you know what? I think that's actually pretty good as far as a position for utility. So I would love that for the Seahawks.
The Buccaneers here took Mike Green in the first round. Yeah. Do you like Azaria Thomas?
I love Azaria Thomas.
I think that's what I'm going to take.
I would hate that pick. I would hate it
which means it's a good pick.
It's a good pick. It's a really good pick.
Because they need guys in the secondary. They've kind of been bleeding guys there for the last few years. So you're kind of shoring up your defense there a little bit, getting Mike Green to be the pass rusher, Azaria Thomas to be the
number 2.
Yeah,
like I said, you got Jamel Dean. In this scenario, you got Azaria Thomas, who can be your number 2. And then you don't have to worry about McCollum being on the outside. He can be that true nickel. And then, like I said, you have an interesting spot where you have also Tyleik Smith. Is it Tyleik Smith last year from Georgia, the safety? Like I said, he's also been an interesting chess piece for the Buccaneers too. So now I'm here with the Packers.
So
Matthew Golden. Yeah. All right. So now, okay. Are they going to get rid of Jair or not? I don't know what the situation is. Like for a while there, I was thinking that the Green Bay Packers are going to be taking cornerback, but in this scenario, I'm going to be looking at edge rusher because I still need to get some juice off the edge. And
the juice is loose.
The juice is loose. And I'm then,
that would work better if it was the Bills.
Yeah. If I'm then like there's not really anybody that I really, really like for them because either you're getting the same exact player you kind of really have. Like JT is the same exact player as what you're already kind of struggling with right now. As someone who's a really good run stuffer, someone who's got really good power, but I don't really think there's anything there. Corner, not really. Like Darren Porter, okay, fine.
I can't.
No, their corner, their safety is really good too. There's not really a linebacker that I like either. I'm kind of in the mood for a trade back. All right. So let me think here. Let me think.
Who's gonna call for really?
Okay, so here? No. Somebody's gonna call to try to jump the chart. Who's gonna call to jump the Chargers? The Chargers are in a situation where they already got their.
I don't know who the Chargers are gonna take. JT.
No. Actually, hold a second. Let me see. I'm looking at potential. Okay. Tyleik Williams. They have that first round. I'm looking because I know the
Packers could
the
Bills could use offensive line.
Who's offensive linemen that are available right now? Take Ratledge maybe.
Ratledge, you've got Jared Wilson.
Actually, no, Jared Wilson.
Jared Wilson is so underrated.
Oh, Jared Wilson. I forgot he was still on there. Yeah, no, actually that's fine.
He's an incredibly underrated player.
And he would be plug and play center.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, yeah, that's fair. I almost made a mistake there. Good. Jared Wilson.
Chargers here took Colson Loveland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So looking here, let's see what defensive tackles look like. Let me see beef. Shamar Turner.
I also like CJ West, but it's way too early for him though. But I really like him.
I'm gonna take Shamar Turner here. Do you don't like that scheme fit? I like Shamar Turner a lot, man.
I kind of okay. If you're looking for someone who just be able to stop the run, I think that's fine. Like I said, they need help all over that defensive tackle. They need technically defensive. They're 3-4 defensive end because, like I said, right now it's like they lost Poona Ford.
Take TreVeyon Henderson.
That would be as like a
running back 2.
Running back 2.
Oh no, they're not Najee.
They already have. They got Najee. So yeah,
but Najee has no juice.
I know.
Do they have J.K. Dobbins back?
Did they necessarily sign him? I don't remember if they did or not. But in this case, I think I'll be fine with Shamar Turner. Like I said, he would be able to fit that 3-4 defensive end role.
Yeah, he's back on the Chargers.
He's back on the so yeah. So I'll let's go with Shamar. Let's go with Shamar.
Actually, no. I'm taking Taylor Ratledge.
Okay.
They need guard.
That does fix their interior. Yeah.
They need guard.
All right, now I'm
and
here.
He's a nasty guard.
Now I'm here. I took Tyleik Williams in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at somebody who's going to be able to get after the quarterback. Because I'm already sure of that defense. Wide receiver not feeling super confident with. Oh, hold a second. Okay. They've had a lot of conversations about moving on potentially from James Cook.
I was going to float TreVeyon.
Yeah. I'm thinking either edge rusher or TreVeyon Henderson. Which one do you believe? And like in my mind,
I think it'll be edge.
I think it'll be edge because they said they desperately get out their quarterback. But in this scenario, like the only edge I could probably see is like Landon Jackson, maybe JT, but
I don't know, JT. Take Andrew Makuba.
Oh no! Wait, hold a second. I think they have somebody like. Oh no, they don't.
You use cornerback depth too.
Actually, I think I like Darren Porter there.
Yeah. I don't hate that at all.
Mhm.
I don't hate that.
All right, so now you get to give me somebody good.
Who do we take first?
Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker. All right. Well, we need the future here. So, for y'all, okay, I'm looking at defense.
Yes.
Defense.
Uh-huh.
I like Carson.
I do, but I like another linebacker better. But I do know that the Panthers do like him. However,
we didn't take an edge.
However,
wait, who do we take?
Like I said, we took Jalen Walker.
Oh,
so that's the reason why, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If we go linebacker,
I know who you want me to take. You want me to take TJ Sanders? I like TJ.
I love TJ Sanders, but at the same time, I know deep down that was not going to be the play. And instead, I'm gonna let you scroll through, and I'm gonna tell you exactly who we would be taking instead. Because you passed by.
Until Chris Paul.
I would love
Chris
Paul,
three.
But we're taking safety.
Makuba.
It's gonna be either Makuba or Kevin Winston.
I've been thinking about Makuba. Because I've been staring at him, Sanders.
We need a free safety.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there's somehow some way that Watt starts falling, like I would love to try to trade up to try to get Watts. But instead, I gave him to the Bears. You know what, Bears? Congratulations. You got Tyler Stevenson for us, and also we gave you Caleb Williams. So
now you get my team here at 58. We took Calvin Banks Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You got us here at 58. Who are you gonna take?
Let me see.
Defense. No.
I thought there was somebody there, but there's not. That's right. Offense, wide receiver. I'm looking here. Ooh. I like Jalen Royals. I like Kyle Williams. Let's see who else is offensive line. Potentially Mbao. Nah. Just seeing if there's anything. I like Ozzie Trapillo, but I don't know if you're not going to go there that way.
I'm going to take both the Texas tackles. I like Emory Jones as a guard.
I like him as a guard, but not in the second round. He's a third rounder for me. But, okay.
What TreVeyon Henderson?
I was also kind of going.
I mean, if I had my choice of the running backs here, you know who I would want?
Quinshon Judkins?
Yes.
That's legitimately who I was thinking about. Because, okay, so here's my thing.
We wouldn't take him here, but we wouldn't take him here.
Why would you not take him?
Because they do like Dameon Pierce, and he played a lot better down the stretch. They have Joe Mixon. I think they take wide receiver. I would love
Quinshon Judkins. Yes, because he can be your.
If you take Quinshon Judkins, I'm not going to argue.
Okay. If I took wide receiver, who would you argue for?
Jalen Royals.
Okay, because that's how I was going with. Because I think Kyle Williams is good, but Jalen Royals has that potential to be like if what's his face? Tank Dell is like done for and doesn't be able to come back. Like I think Jalen Royals can be that amazing option that eventually when you get rid of Christian Kirk next year because he's just like a rental, then he can be a number 2 that can move all over everywhere, and he has a lot of juice in him too. So I think that would be an amazing pick for you because, like I said, not only did you shore up your offensive line, you can get another guy in the third round, and you get a wide receiver that can be able to help replace some of the production that you're going to lose from Tank Dell.
Baltimore here took Tyler Booker in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about Carson.
I think it's potential.
The edges here just don't fit.
No.
what they need.
Well,
They already have an undersized defensive tackle. Safety, no, not really.
And I'm fine with their safeties right now. Like I think Washington doesn't get enough love. I don't want to
take another guard here.
No, that's way too much. See, go to wide receiver.
I don't love the
wide receiver. I don't like the wide receiver either.
I'm probably just going to take Carson.
I think that's fair. Like I said, what's his name? Ohio State linebacker who was a rookie last year or second year. Didn't I thought it was going to come to me, not Swinson.
I'm blanking.
I can't think of his name. But the other middle linebacker that was beside Roquan Smith didn't do the best. So I could see them going linebacker. Yeah. And that's pretty much like a lot of people have talked about Jahad Campbell, but that's way too early for him to go there in the first round to the Ravens because they desperately need another guard. So like I said, I think that's good. It's like you get Carson, you get Tyler Booker. All right, so Lions, we got edge. We are looking at there's potential to try to see if we can find somebody's going to be a replace. Nobody's really there. Like I said, I like Jack Besh. If you're looking for like a Tim Patrick replacement, that's actually no. I do kind of like that. But I'm going to come back.
Interior
I guess I'm going to go back because I'm like, is there anybody that can move inside?
They could take an absolute mauler who's young and good. Who's like young and got potential if they want to develop him as the interior.
Who are you?
Cam Williams. He is a dog.
You know what? That's fair. Him being moved to the interior, right guard, beside Penei Sewell too. No,
it's huge.
That's
I like that.
I like that too because, like I said, he's not a tackle for me. But moving inside, I think he has a lot of upside. He's not in my like offensive line rankings that I've had because, like I said, just as a tackle, it's not there. But I think that's fair. As a guard, I think that can work out really, really well for them.
Who did we take in?
We took Michael Williams.
Michael Williams, which means
this is easy for me.
Who is it? Are you TJ Sanders?
No, I'm looking at running back because you have
they have two good running backs.
Yeah, but more than likely they're going to be getting rid of them, and like they seem to kind of like Trayvon Henderson. But if you want to take a wide receiver, it's also another thing. But there's not really right there. But
Bills again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've gotten corner and defensive tackle addressed.
Nice. This is where I'm. Oh,
we had such a hard time with the Bills first pick. Now it's even harder. I think
I could either go a couple of different directions. I'm
Jackson Dart.
No. Even though, did you see that Todd McShay was just like Jackson Dart has some Josh Allen qualities? I'm like, what are you watching? I just don't understand all that hype towards
this. Could be where they could take like a.
I'm looking at Chris Paul Jr. I was looking at Chris. Yeah, I was looking at Chris Paul Jr. I was looking at TJ Sanders as far as being a spell to him. But honestly, if he starts to fall and I'm the Chiefs here, that would be my pick. Is take TJ Sanders.
All right, you're the Bills there.
No, I'm saying that I would take Chris Paul, but if I'm the Chiefs there, I'm taking TJ Sanders. And
I was going to look at.
Because you need somebody to replace Tershawn Wharton. You need somebody who's going to get interior pressure because you can't just be Chris Jones. So that would be.
I also think this is a kind of easier pick here for the
Jalen Milroe to be able to learn from the master. No.
I think you'll take edge.
Yeah, I do. I don't really like Princely though. Let me see.
Princely can kind of be that Josh Sweat replacement.
Kinda. Let's see. Who do we actually have though? Kyle Kennard.
No, there's not an Alabama or Georgia edge here.
No, it's not. I like I like Kyle Kennard, like Braden Swinson. A little bit early. Princely, I kind of like it, but at the same time, see, we took on its tackle in the first. DT could be potentially as well. So let's see. Nah, it's still too early for the people that are there. Cornerback. I don't really think there's going to be another cornerback that I like that's going to be there. No. Even though I do love me some Noah Williams, but that's way too early. Yeah, I'll take Princely. I'm okay on Princely. I think that you could go in a different option, but like if the board falls that way, especially if TJ Sanders isn't there, because like if TJ Sanders is there at pick 30, at pick 64, that could be an easy replacement for Milton Williams.
Well, that was our 2-round mock draft. Not many trades, a couple trades. I think there's going to be a lot more trades than what we did on the first round. I think that there will be a lot of movement. It's just really hard to predict right now.
It's because there's not a lot of like blue chip players.
Yeah, this draft really thins out. Really, as soon as you kind of get to that middle second round, it really starts to thin out, and there's like strong positions. But I don't know. I'm happy with how the draft turned out here. First round I thought was pretty good. Second round we'll see. But we'll be streaming on your YouTube.
Yes,
round 1.
Yes, and then I'm trying to figure out how I can move the stream to this channel for Friday. I just don't know how I'm able to do that on. If I'm able to find how to do that for Streamlabs, then we'll be able to do that on round 2 and round 3 on Friday. Do it on this channel. If not, then we'll just have to do on our channel. Like I said, I'll like bring like a whiteboard and be like,
plug your channel real fast. What is it?
It's gonna be Ryan Green comedy. That's basically what it is. But yeah.
So we're doing round 1. We'll be streaming that, just doing kind of our instant reactions to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll have round 2, round 3 on Friday night. We won't be doing day 3.
Maybe I'll be working all day, so no.
Yeah, I'll be getting a haircut, but I'll be watching on my phone. But we'll be join us on. We'll probably start 20 minutes before the draft starts, so about 6:30, 6:40 on Thursday. So I'll put his channel in the description of this video. But thank you all for watching, and see you on the next one.
Bye.